right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Zone Zero. This episode is going to be exciting because we've got a guy jumped into a market that everyone wants to be in, which basically is real estate. Today we have Sebastian. Sebastian, thank you very much for coming here. I
Ali,
appreciate your you coming here over your busy schedule.
thank you
So
for having me.
yeah, absolutely. Let's dive into your story. Tell me who is Sebastian.
Well, I came here 8 years ago, and I'm coming from Colombia, so it's been quite a ride. And I got into multiple jobs since I got to Canada. I did a little bit of landscaping, data entry, then accounting, and lastly, I jumped into real estate.
But why real estate? Or like around all other niches you have? Why specifically real estate?
I guess I saw the potential with real estate once I got to Canada and I realized how expensive it gets with the rental market. And then I did a little bit of research and found out properties were also very expensive. So I think it has huge potential for business. And I've always been great with talking to people, socializing. So it's been quite a challenge, but that's kind of like an overview of why I decided to start into real estate.
That's amazing. So it's like it wasn't your plan in the beginning when you came here to Canada. You just over with like time and discovering what is Canada, you saw the market, and then you decided to go to real estate, or was always your thing, to go there?
So my thing has always been business. I like business. I like the strategy. I like the challenge. So when I got here, this country it just has so much opportunities. And I spotted real estate, and I said, "It's gonna be this one." I like what I do. I like talking to people. I like just solving problems, and that's a little bit of the stuff that you need to do when you go into real estate.
That's amazing. But also, it became a trend. Very literally everyone wants to be a realtor, and you find in every block you find 7, 10 realtors in one block, and you saw that even before you getting in, and you decided to also go in. Would you like the challenge, or how does that work?
So you are absolutely right in the fact that it's just such a lucrative industry that a lot of people are jumping into it, and it's been challenging, and it hasn't been completely easy. But that's also what I like about it. I like the challenge and the fact of strategizing in order to position yourself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, great answer. But do you think it worth it? Real estate, especially right now in Vancouver, do you think it's worth it?
I think anything is worth it if you just put the enough um, will and intention to it. You gotta commit to a stop in order for something to really work out. So it is true that it's quite saturated, but there is still huge potential for it if you're ready to commit.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the challenges while you start getting in, way beginning, studying for it. How long does it take, and what is the journey of this to become a realtor?
Got it. Yes. So the starting was easy. It's a course in UEC that you have up to a year to complete. However, you can do it as fast as in, I believe it was 12 weeks. I did it in the minimum times, 12 weeks. And that was the easy part, right? The studying, then I did the exam. I had to prepare for it, but that's fine, right? When you actually go into the field and you start meeting these people, having these conversations, that's where it can get a bit challenging.
And do you had any expectations when you started in the field? I know it's kind of hard, but tell us how hard it is.
So I'm a guy that always likes to have low expectations in anything that he does, because for me it's always better to be surprised than to be disappointed. But I always knew that I was gonna make it, no matter how hard it was, because when I commit to something, I really go for it.
Mhm. But if we look at it from the point where the market itself and the people, the economy in general, right? How many people you see in the street, they can or have the money to buy a house, right? Where do you look? What's your target?
Gotcha. That's a great question. I think what I look the most is for opportunity. So I try to spot where the opportunity is in the matter of time that we are. For example, it will be for purchases. because buyers can really take advantage of this market since there's a lot of pressure in the economy. And that's kind of like the stuff that I try to spot on, right? Just opportunity.
Hmm. How much does it like exactly take for someone to save in order to like thinking to buy a house?
That's a great question. And I think that it will really depend on what your main objective is. If you want to get a house or you want to start with a townhouse or maybe a condo, and it can be as low as 20,000, 30,000. The real thing and good thing about BC is that you can purchase property with just 5% down.
Hmm. Okay, great. And what is the common mistake that the first time homeowners make?
I believe is not preparing properly because it's you gotta prepare yourself from the mortgage stand point of view, but you also need to be ready for the closing costs, for the down payment. You gotta watch out your finances because one mistake can really set you back in your timeline in order to get that property that you want. And when I talk about mistakes, I say, let's say you're ready to apply for this mortgage, and then you have this nice car that you want, and then you apply for a financing on that car, and that can really set you back. So I believe it's not for first-time home buyers, is not having the right guidance in order to not commit these mistakes for reaching the goal that they want.
Okay, so let's like hypothetically you have a customer right now. What is the first thing you do to before even looking into houses? Like how you do the assessments?
First thing that I do with the client is always prepare them for the purchase, and that involves setting them up with the right people. What I mean by this is first thing will be setting them with a right mortgage broker, because the mortgage broker will decide, will give you the budget in order to go and look for this house that you want. They're gonna look at your finances. They're gonna look at how much income you're making a year. They're going to look at your liabilities and assets. And based on that, they're going to tell you, okay, Ali, you qualify now for 800,000, 1.2 million. So that is the first step, setting them with the right mortgage broker.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. But what is the market now? Like how it looks like in 2025? What is the market in Vancouver specifically?
So 2025 and 2024 have been tough in the real estate market. There is currently a lot of pressure in the economy for several items. The interest rates right now for the overnight is at 2.75%. What that means is that the mortgage that you are going to get if you apply for it is going to be around 4.3%, 4.5%, depending on your credit score and other variables. So stuff like this, high interest rates make a lot harder to get into properties because with a higher interest rate, it's a little bit more difficult to qualify for higher amounts. Lower rates mean a more flexible and bigger budget for these purchases. So I would say high interest rates is one of the factors that the real estate market is a little bit shaky right now. But also another factor I would say is the tariffs as well, because that is putting a lot of pressure in the economy. And when people are looking to make into these big purchases, they want to have job security. And when job security is a risk, they don't want to get into these big purchases.
Hmm. And what is the advices you give to homeowners currently? Like the ones that has a house, is it like time to sell or time to buy?
I guess it really will depend on their whole goal plan, right? If you're looking to upsize, it is a good time to sell because although you are looking to sell at a discount, if you're looking to purchase a higher property, you will be getting a discount on that property as well.
Okay. Okay. But like in that chaos, like it's happening in the economy and the real estate things, how you stand out like as a realtor?
You always gotta provide value. That's what I try to focus the most. I try to provide value in several ways. So one of the things that I do is I'm good with the numbers. As I mentioned, I have a accounting background. I did a little bit of data analysis too, so that helps me spot the right opportunities. Because let's be honest, anybody can write a contract. Even ChatGPT can do it for you nowadays. But the real value that real estate agents can provide in this market to homeowners, it's the facility to provide opportunities, spot them, and close them.
Hmm. And like in that, like when you say it like this, like a realtor has to be ready to not getting paid for a long time. Is that what you're saying here?
I'm saying that in every market, no matter which market it is, there's always going to be opportunities. Although in this market, sales are down in comparison to last year and inventory is piling up, there's still great opportunities for purchasers.
Hmm. As you see right now, a lot of realtors they just quit this this industry just because they didn't got into having customers, not having sales for years. Where do you stand from them? Like, what is the mentality you have that you can still keep going?
Real estate is tough. Like I would say it's kind of like any other venture that you do, but it's you gotta separate yourself from being okay with rejection. You need to be okay with being rejected constantly. I get rejected daily, and that's completely fine. Because at the end of the day, in this industry and in like any other, it's a numbers game. If you increase your numbers, you also increase the opportunities to close the deals.
Okay, okay. And let's just say, what do you say to people who think real estate is like a scam or doesn't bring money to you? Like, what is your message to them? Like, people who like preceded the industry and then they just stopped halfway.
I will say that they didn't commit enough because at the end of the day, I think you can achieve anything you want if you commit 100% to it. You just gotta have enough tough skin not to give up.
Okay, and do you think you can do it full time, like without having like a, let's say, if you do it, can you do it like a realtor can do it full time thing, or it has to be a part time in the beginning, having like an active income coming to him, and then after that goes to like a full time.
It can absolutely be full time. It's a matter of starting, committing, and keep going with it. At the beginning, it might be tough. You know, when you start any sort of venture, the beginning is always the hardest.
Mhm.
Starting is always the most difficult thing. But once you get through, you start figuring out the stuff, and you just gotta keep going from there.
Okay, no, that's great. Tell me a little bit about you as Sebastian, being in that industry, how you keep yourself up, what is the habits you have to stay consistent, stay disciplined with that. I know you are a person who's very disciplined and like goals driven. So tell us a little bit more about this.
So I always like to have a schedule and systems. I think if you have systems, you are set to succeed. So I like to, start my week by working out, and then I do this workout at 6 a.m. from 6 to 8. So after that, that's like the first win of my day. So I'm done with the workout. Now I get into business, right? So I have these systems where my morning from 9 to 12 I do some work in regards of clients that I'm currently managing, and I set appointments in the evenings. So at the end of the day, I have a little bit of time to relax and then just repeat. And then if you stick to that goal and that system, it's a matter of time until you succeed.
Okay. And how you keep your mental clear from all the distractions and all that, like how you keep your mind healthy in this environment, because I know it's very hard to be consistent talking to people, getting rejection. It just makes something in your mind, right?
It is.
Yeah. How you deal with those?
It's to tell you the real truth at the beginning, it's hard because you try and then you get rejected and then you get rejected, so you can get frustrated at some point. But it's a matter of having grit and really sticking to your beliefs and to your true self, because here's the thing: if you promise something to yourself, you really gotta commit to it, otherwise you're going to hurt your will, and that's the worst thing that you can do.
Mhm. Tell us a little bit more about your first win, having a client, having the first sale. Like, walk us through it.
My first win, wow, that was a challenge, but it was definitely a learning experience. And as I said, the first things are always the hardest. This My first sale was a pre-sale condo, and it was challenging from the fact that I had to get a client, and then I had to navigate this first transaction that I knew very little about it, but thanks to the guidance that I have from other people that are further in this career from me, I was able to get a good result from my buyer. and it was a win-win for him and a win for me as well.
Okay. And like let's talk a little bit about the money wise when you sell. Like does the money you receive from it, is it worth it? Like is it a big amount of money or like something interesting, or just like a small amount?
It's definitely lucrative, especially right now, and it's all about spotting the opportunities, right? So right now, developers are paying big money for realtors to bring them buyers because it's being very hard to find buyers in this market. People don't want to make these purchases because they're scared that they're not going to have a job in the next 2-3 months, right? So it's about that opportunity.
Hmm. And like with that being said, you are working with an institution, right? Like a brokerage, and you are one of the realtors inside of it, right?
That is
How the system works in there, like for realtors.
So I'm licensed with EXP Realty. That's my broker. And the way that it works is I work under their umbrella, and my transactions are posted under the EXP broker. So in EXP, I will say that we are very supportive. We have a WhatsApp group where we exchange contacts or questions or even experiences. And that's where you can learn a lot, because you get to see the mistakes and the wins that people that are further ahead from you made, and that can help you grow up as a person if you are able to listen.
Okay. And does realtors being compensated in a good way, like in a good and like percentage wise, are they being compensated in a good way or not?
Yeah, I mean it's all about who's selling and how much they're willing to pay and how motivated they are, right? So as I said, I seen some developers giving 2% flat commissions, 3% flat, 4%. So it really depends of how motivated the seller is.
Mhm. I mean, like institution wise, because the sale is going to be through the institution, right? And then after that, there are going to be percentages between the institution and the realtor, right?
Mhm.
And does that's going to be a win-win situation where both sides are having like a good compensation or not?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the brokerage that you get in. Every broker has a different compensation. Mine with EXP is 80/20 up to $80,000. After I make 80,000 a year, I keep 100% of my earnings. But the first $80,000 in sales, EXP takes 20% of my commission. Some of them they take more, some of them they take less, but have higher monthly fees. It's a matter of what you are comfortable with it.
Okay, okay. And for you, Sebastian, what is your goals? Like you're now like moved from the phases with the first cell and second cell and maybe the third. What is next? Like what is your next stage we're going to?
I try to sell one every month. That's my goal.
Okay, like that's the goal ultimately. But like being a realtor itself, do you like have an ambition in the future to build your own institution, or like how that works, or you want to be an owner who sells and flip?
I'm I'm more on the investing side of it, so I don't see myself going into starting a brokerage, although I think it's very profitable if you can make it happen. But I like more the whole getting the money and investing the proceeds in assets that are gonna generate you cash flow.
Okay. And what's your thoughts about stocks, cryptocurrency, and all the other kind of investments other than real estate?
I think they are profitable if you can make them work. But my personal belief on it is that they are very volatile. So they go up and down a lot, and it's not as safe as real estate. I will say they're a little bit more risky, and maybe you can make a little bit more money from it. But I stick to the houses. That's what I like.
Okay. Okay. But like, and like, just like the question is also like, the accessibility for the stocks is easier for people to access
Absolutely.
rather than the real estate. So you still rather to go to real estate, even the accessibility is easier for stocks, right?
100%, yes, because I think the power with real estate is that you can leverage other people's money in order to grow. Like when you go to buy a property, you can put as low as 5% down, and then you use the bank's money in order to finance this purchase. And we all know here that the prices for properties, they skyrocket every year. I mean, 2024, 2023, 25 have been tough on the real estate market, but it's just a matter of time for the market to pick up one more time, and then we start seeing these big gains again.
Mhm. And like among all the provinces in Canada, and use like Vancouver is like the one of the highest. If tomorrow you had to start all again from the beginning, would you still in Vancouver or move to another province?
I like Vancouver because it's such a beautiful city, and that's why property prices are so high in here. Because you have the beach, you have the mountains, you have landscapes, so it's really such a beautiful place to live that you have a lot of demand but not enough inventory in the market. So I think Vancouver is a great city to start into real estate. Yes.
Okay. All right. Awesome. That's been great so far. We're going to take a quick break here and then we get back and continue with your journey.
All right.
Okay. We'll get back to it. All right. We're back. Sebastian, thanks again for coming here today. It's been great so far talking about like how to buy a house. You gave us a lot of valuable information, and I hope that even the people who's watching, if they have any questions, we will reach out either the comments or we can drop your contact information if they have any questions for you in person.
Happy to.
But right now, let's dive into some weird experience you had while being realtor. Like, tell us what was like one of the craziest stories you would encounter being a realtor.
Craziest stories, like in a funny way or
A funny way.
funny way. All right. Well, I got this transaction that I was working in,
Okay.
and it was for this lady that she purchased a condo. Everything went very smooth with the transaction. I got her a nice discount on the property, and everything was perfect till closing date. So we go to closing. I get to the home. This was on a 6-story building, right? So I was about to take the elevator. I had the keys in. I bring my basket ready to set up everything. And then I accidentally dropped the keys. And guess what? They fell on the only place that they couldn't fall, on the crack from the elevator.
What kind of jinx that would be? That was your first?
No, that was like my sixth.
Okay, like this is a lot to process. Like the key fell into the small opening from the elevator.
The crack, yes.
What was the client's reaction of this?
So luckily they weren't there because I like to get there about 45 minutes earlier and
Okay.
in order to set everything up and leave everything ready. So I was with my basket. The client wasn't there already. So I was trying to like juggling with the keys, like getting them out in order to, open the door. So once I'm trying to get the keys, like I accidentally drop them and they fall on the crack. So I'm like, it's a long weekend, and I need to deliver these keys to the owner. So I start ringing the property management 3 times, 4 times. They're not answering my call. So
Of course, long weekend. Who expect to answer a phone on a long weekend?
exactly right. So client was gonna be here like in 30 minutes. So I was like, I need to dismantle this lock. So I went and I knocked in the doors of the neighbors. I got a screwdriver. I dismantled the lock. I went to a locksmith that it was about 10 minutes away from the subject property.
Okay.
And he changed it for me in 10 minutes. So when I got back, my clients had already arrived, maybe about 5-10 minutes. And I just installed the lock and it worked out fine, but that was very unfortunate.
You're saying if you are only being a realtor without like a side skills, you would lose in the market.
100%. No, you got a problem solved.
Yeah, especially like in the moments like this, like the deal could ruin, no? Or it was like already signed the documents or everything.
Everything was done, but it would have been not such a nice experience for the homeowner, right? Because they were very excited about their property. They were she was coming with her dad, right? So it was a very special moment, and I didn't want to ruin it, so I had to do everything in order to get that lock changed and get a new set of keys.
Well, I'm glad you already saved the day. But does she know about this?
Yeah, I told her, listen, there's been a little bit of a delay, but don't worry about it. I'll be there in,
Well, shout out to her then, like for being patient and being dealing with this.
Yeah, no.
It could have turned to like a big drama.
Yeah, she was very understanding, and well, at the end of the day, she didn't suffer any damage because I was able to get her the key, and lucky to me, the fob didn't fail on the crack. It was just the key because the keychain was slightly broken, right? So the main key fell. on the elevator, but not the fob.
Like the only key that I don't want to fail.
The only key, and on the only place that it couldn't fit,
Yeah,
it did fail on that place.
Well, that's the challenge. You probably build like a thick skin after that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all about solving these problems, right? And kind of like adapting to situations.
True. But let's talk a little bit about like door-to-door ones. I know that as a part of your journey, it was door-to-door.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us a little bit about this, like the challenge, like how the people treat you and how you keep up with them.
Man, you gotta be tough. You gotta have this tough skin and being okay with people being rude to you. And some of them are nice, that's true. But at the end of the day, it's still sort of invasive, right? I'm going to your home, I'm knocking on your door, you don't know who I am. So it's it's normal that people get nervous or frustrated with you. Sometimes they have a hard time at work, and then you're knocking on their place. Hey, how's everything going, right?
It's like coming into their life without even an appointment, right?
Exactly, right. So I understand it's invasive. At the beginning, it was tough because my man, I remember my first 20 doors. I was doing this open house in Abbotsford, and I was just knocking on the doors, just letting people know, hey, we got this listing. It came into the market. Do you know anybody who's looking to move into a neighborhood? And my hands were sweating. I was overthinking. I was okay. This day it's gonna be my first time. I'm gonna do 5 doors. So I knock on the first one, and they were nice to me. I think it's also about the energy that you bring, right? If you are energetic, charismatic, they're gonna match your energy most of the times, right? So the first 5 doors they went great, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do another 5, and then another 5, another 5. I ended up doing about 25 or 30 doors that day, and that was my first experience. And that day, everybody was so nice to me. It was so sunny, but that was the beginning. Yeah.
Well, no, actually, this is the most hardest part, especially when you just started. You just go there just to let people know, hey, I'm existed. Like this is me. That's what I do, and that. Like we've been there. Like me and my brother, we've been doing that because in our trade we have like we gotta go to the customer houses. Like in the beginning, we had the flares, the door hangers, right? So
Yeah.
in the beginning, we did that, and then while we doing it, we got interacted with people like, oh, what are you doing here? Why are you getting inside, right? And then we start to explain like like what do we do? This is our company, and then that's we have a discount. That's how we do it. So luckily, our experience was positive, right? But I know some friends they've been into this, and literally people screaming at them, slamming the door at them, and man, like I don't think so. Everyone can deal with this. Like
No.
it's tough. It's very tough.
Because you get a lot of rejections. That's the truth. And the conversion rate for door knocking is less than 1%. So it's also a long term game. Because when I'm door knocking, I'm not expecting for people to sell their home right away. I understand this is a big purchase, a very important purchase in your life. So what I try to do is just get their contact information, keep them updated of everything that is selling around the area. If they like a property, I will let them know how much this property is worth, the market value. I just try to provide value, play the long-term game, and stay top of mind.
Okay. No, that's great. But let's do this. What is your line that you've been using, especially for the first 5 doors? Like if anybody who's just got into being a realtor, let's give them a tip. Like what was your line you were using when you were knocking the doors?
So as soon as we sold a home, we door knock everything around the area. And we tell them, hey, we just sold this home. This is a townhouse. It has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We sold it for 900,000. Do you know anyone who's looking to make a move right now? Because what we look for as salesperson is not to force any sale, because there's nothing, absolutely nothing that I can tell you in order to convince you to sell. What we look for is opportunity. Because again, nothing that I will say is going to convince you, but if you're thinking about it at that special moment, about making a move, maybe upsizing, downsizing, or getting an investment property, you're going to talk to me. And that's the kind of opportunity that I look for.
So you go introduce and then you ask them for a referral, basically, right? So I'm here. If you know anyone, this is my card. And if you like, they can contact me to do this.
Sort of, yeah. No, I don't ask for the referral right away. I ask them, hey, if you know anybody who's looking to make this move, we sold this home for this much. So who else do you know that might need our help at the moment?
Okay. No, that's great. That's great to know. Anybody who's got into realtor like recently, just that have like a notes and write it down.
Just knock some doors. It's gonna be tough at the beginning,
But if you want to talk about your marketing, like let's just say being a realtor, having marketing, what is the platform that is most important for being a realtor? Like, what is your market?
so my market is the Spanish market, mainly Latin market. So I try to market myself in community groups in the Latin community in Vancouver that is really growing a lot because it's personally I think it's a lot easier to connect with people from your own culture. But also talking about marketing, I'm not doing it right now, but I did door to door for a while, and that gave some nice results at the long term. So several strategies, I would say, door to door. Social media is also strong. On these Latin groups that I'm talking about, this is on Facebook, but I also post some educational videos on Instagram. I don't get into TikTok yet, but it's on the plan too.
Okay, great. So now is the time to get into the segments, like the show segment, which is agree or disagree. I'm just going to shoot you some statements and you're going to say agree or disagree. And if there's something you want to just like continue to give a comment on it, we'll give you the space to do it. And yeah.
All right,
Ready for it?
let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. So the first one, real estate is only for extroverts. Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Disagree.
I think you can be an introvert and you can make it work. You just gotta put the hours in, knock the doors, talk to people, force yourself to create these relationships that will help you out in your business.
Okay, great. You don't need a degree to be successful in Canada.
Absolutely not. You don't need a degree. You just need the motivation.
So agree.
Agree.
Okay. Renting is throwing money away.
Agree 100%. You're paying someone else's mortgage. Buy yourself a property. You're gonna be making payments to yourself in the future.
Networking is more important than knowledge.
Oof, that's a good one. I agree with that one. I think your connections is what is going to take you further in your business plan.
Okay.
Knowledge is also important, but connections, they really play a big part because you might have all the knowledge, but if you don't have the connections, what are you
It's
going
like
to
a
do with it?
part, you were saying like it's a part of conveying it, right?
It's definitely a combination of everything, but if I'm gonna rank what's more important, I both of them are important, but I'll go with connections first.
Right on. Most realtors fake it till they make it.
Agree. I think it's a matter of believing in yourself, and not only in real estate, in any other profession. When you look at, let's say, for example, just Cristiano Ronaldo, he knew that he was gonna be the best in the world at some point, and he made it happen. And we see examples like that in every sort of profession.
Okay, do you support the idea of fake it till they make it?
I think yes, if you want something and you believe in yourself, go for it, and don't let anybody else tell you that you're not gonna make it. Because on this path on entrepreneurship, you're gonna find a lot of people that are gonna tell you no, this doesn't work out. You just gotta stay true to yourself and believe it.
Right, like if you think about it, like this is gonna be an interesting one. So, like there's difference between if you believe you're gonna become a millionaire and you act upon it, like your mentality, how you dress, or how you represent yourself. This is fine, like in my personal opinion. But when it comes to faking jewelries, cars, and living the life that is not existed, right? Just to show the people that I have the credibility to sell you a house. Like this is the part that I'm targeting, which is fake it till you make it.
Gotcha.
Would you agree on this? Like agree on the part like fake the jewelries, the cars, the lifestyle.
I don't. No, I wouldn't agree with it because I think it's just appearances, and at the end of the day, appearances might help you to get yourself into the door.
Mhm.
But your skill set is what is going to be valuable at the end of the day.
Okay, great. Because that's why I wanted to clarify because it could be terminized in different ways, a lot of different ways.
Also, I think if you're spending this amount of money on jewelry and a nice car when you might not be able to afford it right now, it might not be the the smart thing to do. It's I'll say 100% always invest in yourself instead of making yourself look rich. Make yourself rich.
True. Open houses are outdated. Agree or disagree?
I disagree with that one. I think it's important to have that physical connection, that presence. Come to a house. I'll show it to you. I'll show you why this house is the right place for you. I'll show you how you can portray yourself in this place in the long term.
Okay. You can't make it in real estate without connections.
I agree. You need to know people who are wanting to make these moves in order to sell some houses.
Okay, great. Now we reached to the end of the podcast. I would like you to end it with a piece of advice for people who wants to get into real estate. What would you advise them?
I'll say commit to it and don't give up because you're going to face a lot of rejections. Truth is, you might talk to 1,000 people and you might only close 10 or maybe one. But if you commit yourself enough, at some point you're going to build that skill set. People are going to start recognizing you as a realtor. And at the end of the day, if you commit, you will make it.
Awesome. Great, Sebastian. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you for
Appreciate it. That's been an exciting and amazing information you provided. Hope the listeners and people who watch learned something new here. And guys, if you have any questions, type below in the comments, or we're going to leave the contact information for Sebastian. You can reach him out anytime. Okay? Thank you very much. We'll see you the next time.